Hi everyone, Bandanner here and welcome back to game number 2 with Awoodenbox and Meddi for the WARNO League Season 0.5 from SDL. Today, Awoodenbox is over on the right in blue playing as the second Panzer Grenadiers, a little bit different for Awoodenbox. And then over on the left in red we have Meddi playing as the 27th once more. Interesting to see them out again. Let's have a look at Awoodenbox first. Fallschirmjäger and Jäger auf Clara heading up to Alpha. Defensive in positioning. Milan 2 heading into the building there. At the bottom here we have some Fallschirmjäger and Jäger auf Clara heading up here with another Milan 2. Probably Milan 2 going in that building. Another Jäger auf Clara going up there. Just a standard this time, not the Fallschirmjäger. Back here we have some Panzer Grenadiers in Model 1A3 Milans heading up to Charlie. At the back here we have Fliegerforsts, Leo 1A1A1s, a Gepard and an Iltis Command. Again heading over to this sort of side. The command obviously heading to Foxtrot. We've got a Fliegerforst at the back here heading up to Alpha. So a smattering of troops for Alpha here. Going very defensive there. A little bit more aggressive in Charlie and Delta. He's also just put down another Jäger auf Clara, which is heading into Delta as well. Okay, at the other side, as the game starts, these guys get very fast at putting their stuff down. You might have noticed that in the last game as well. Here we have Meddi with his Motorazvedka, which is heading up to this tree line. That's a funny position, but okay. We have an Mi-24K out early and a MiG-29 AA jet coming in to support that Mi-24K. He's got some more Motorazvedka here in BMP-2s again, heading up to this area of the map. Interesting. I suspect they might get cut off by the Milan 2, but we'll see. We've got some of those anti-tank troops heading up to Bravo again. We've got a range of units here, some Iglers and some ZU-23s, mostly AA, again heading up to here. I think something's dropping off here as well, but I'm surprised by the push in the middle. Then at the back here we have Commander Tura, we've got some more anti-tank infantry, we've got Sapri, and we've got a Motorstraki commander in a BMP-2, kind of spreading around this area. Weird positioning to some extent, but certainly going to get into Charlie. Mi-24K is already engaging, and another MiG-29 is coming in here. Mi-24K annihilating the Milan 2, unsurprisingly. Didn't get the one at the other side, though. It's now looking at these other infantry coming in their trucks. Obviously, the trucks stay ahead of the rockets usually. It's only when the trucks stop or turn they tend to get caught. The Mi-24K heading over that way, maybe looking for the other Milan 2. Obviously, could do with killing the Milan 2 so that it doesn't kill all of these vehicles pushing across the center. That is a lot of AA here as well for Meddi. 2 MiG-29s out straight away is quite an expense. Mi-24K is certainly doing a lot of damage to the Milan 2. It may get the kill. Milan 2 did attempt to fire there, but it does go down to the Mi-24K. Kind of did its job there. 2 tornadoes coming in now. Going after the MiG-29. Will engage on one. One MiG-29 is down. Tornado takes a lot of damage. Nasty hit. The other tornado coming around to try and attack the MiG-29. One tornado goes down. Mi-24K takes a nasty hit. MiG-29 takes one nasty hit. Can it get a second hit off? Tornado coming in for the gun kill. Another missile goes and misses. And the tornado veers off. I don't think it was going to catch it to get the guns on again. Both get out intact this time. That was a really weird opener for Meddi there, and you don't see many people push the middle that hard, like right down the middle. A little bit of skirmishing at the bottom there. The Jäger auf Clara engaging with the Sapri now, but the Marders have arrived with the Panzer Grenadiers. There's absolutely nothing up here, really, for Meddi, but some anti-tank troops are arriving. There's not a lot there for Awoodenbox either. Awoodenbox calling in a load of reinforcements now. Leo 1A1A1s were moved up to deal with the stuff pushing across the center there, and he cleared that up very effectively in the end. Quite a lot of infantry down here at the bottom for Meddi, to be honest. His Sapri making a dash out of the buildings now, not wanting to engage with those Marders. The BMP-2 trying to get shots off at the Marder Milans. Panzer Grenadiers charging out of the buildings, going for the kill. BMP-2 takes another hit from the Marder. Fallschirmjäger pulling back away from that Sapri in the tree line there. More Marders being called in. Seems like there's plenty of reinforcements coming in for Awoodenbox all over the map. BMP-2 with that Motostocky commander coming in now from that back point for Meddi. Being veered off though, not going straight into Charlie. That would obviously be a bad idea. There's quite a lot of units there for Awoodenbox now. Over at this side, Recon Helo goes down to the ZU-23, but there are Fallschirmjäger coming in behind that, which should deal with it pretty quickly. There it goes down. The Igla won't fare very well against the Jaeger either. T-80 BVK coming in for this top point for Meddi now. I feel like Meddi's slightly on the back foot down at the bottom of the map in the industrial zones. Up here, it's kind of even between the two. Obviously some Fliegerforce coming in here. I don't think he really has much to deal with the T-80 BVK until those Leos arrive. But I don't see Meddi pushing aggressively with that T-80 at the moment. Mi-24V rockets coming in down here. Oh wow, Gina Rocket gets a kill on the BMP-2 and the Motostocky commander there. These Mi-24 rocket attack choppers coming in and doing some damage. One Panzer Grenadier goes down. Tornado coming in, then Gina Rocket spinning around to try and get shots off. Not quite the right angle on the Gina there, though. Both Mi-24V rockets go down. I think that was a mixture of fire from the ground and the Tornado doing quite a bit of damage there. Not looking great for Meddi right now. He's lost quite a lot of units. He is, oh my word, he is pushing with that T-80 BVK at the top. That is a bit shocking. I didn't think he'd just go all in there. Gina Rocket gets some nice shots off on it. Manages to do a little bit of damage and stress it out. The Leo 1A1A1s are arriving now. The Jaeger were pushing out against it. The Leos won't do great against a T-80 BVK, but if they get some hits on, they're stressed it out already, look. It's now extremely stressed out. BMP-2 getting some good shots off on the Fliegerforce. Leo 1A1A1 has taken a nasty hit. The other one is intact. He needs something a bit heavier up here. I do see a Leo 1A5 coming in at the back there for Awoodenbox now. Could do with some heavy tanks, such as a Leo 2A3. Just going to zoom out and see. I think that's more 1A1A1s coming in there. No Leo 2A3 at this point. Obviously the T-80 BVK backing off there, thinking twice about that push. Sprut in the middle to cover that now for Meddi. Over at this side, Awoodenbox in firm control. Awoodenbox did not ever cap that top point, so instead of being +2, it's currently only +1. And it does take a while to build up points on this map. It is a dual map, so they're all worth 1 at the front here. TDBVK coming in, gets a nasty hit from the Leo 1A1A1. The other Leo 1A1A1 pushing up. Oh, that is a mouthful every time you say that. TDBVK backing off again. The Leo gonna cause issues though. And it's dead. TDBVK goes down. The Leos have done their job. Even if one of them goes down to the BMP-2, who cares? Very effective there. Killing the T-80 BVK. That was the most important thing. More Gina rockets coming in now. There's not a lot of AA down on this side. The Su-17 back in there. We saw that used a lot in the first game by Meddi for the 27th. Strela 10M3 at the other side now, the better version of the Strela, taking out the Gina rocket quite easily. Tornadoes coming in and immediately backing off. Not wanting to overextend too much. Another T80 BVK coming in for Meddi there. Meddi doing a good job of keeping the pressure on up here. He's forcing lots of reinforcement call-ins by Awoodenbox, which is half the battle sometimes. But at the other side of the map, Box is looking really strong. 30 minutes left of this game, thereabouts. And at the moment, it is not looking good for Meddi. He is very far behind in kills to losses, I think, right now. He has a lot less on the field. He's lost an expensive tank. He's lost most of his units at the other side. Lots of martyrs going down for Box, but he's kept most of his infantry alive, other than a couple of losses to some helicopters. And there's Leo 105 coming in to cap this point. He'll be pleased to have a little bit of a boost to that tick rate. But the truth is, +2 isn't exactly huge. And it will take another 22 minutes to win this game. T80 BV coming in at the far side there for Meddi at the top of the map. That'll be heading towards the industrial zones. Here at the top of the map, there is a T80 BV in already. And a T80 BVK coming in. There's quite a few cheap tanks here for Awoodenbox. I still feel like he's really missing some Leo 2A3s here. Gina Rocket coming in, going for the infantry. Now going for the tank as well. MiG-29 comes in, gets the kill. MiG-29 taking fire from Nighthawk now. Recon chopper goes down as well. MiG-29 still intact. Tornadoes coming in for the MiG-29 though. MiG-29 goes down. I think that's both MiG-29s down now. Leo's pushing up here. Do we have any Leo 2A3s coming in at this stage? No. Lots of Leo 1A1A1s. I don't even know if Awoodenbox has Leo 2A3s in his deck. I don't know how he builds his second Panzer Grenadiers. It would be very unusual if he doesn't have any Leo 2A3s. Usually you bring some with this deck. But obviously everyone builds these things differently. Meddi is in a nice secure position here. But over at the other side of the map, Awoodenbox is locked down. I don't see a breach here easily. Obviously, a build-up of a wall of tanks could do the trick. A lot of T80 BVs would, steamroll Leo 1A1A1s and 1A5s potentially as well. But if Awoodenbox brings in enough ATGMs, he will be quite safe down there. And my 24K coming in over here. Look at all those Leos going around the top of this point now. What an interesting maneuver. Tornadoes coming in, I assume, to engage that helicopter. It is veering off now after taking shots from the Fliegerforce, which have now been marked. And my 24K goes down. Very effective flyby for the Tornadoes there. 120mm mortar coming in for Meddi. Look at these Leos. What is Awoodenbox planning here? A push around the top of the point to come in from the side? Could be that he's looking for side shots or crossfire on the T80 BVs. One of them is actually sat outside the tree line though, so I assume is visible to Meddi. Certainly his recon helo would have seen them moving around there. More mortars being called in. Really curious. I assume the mortars are going to be used to clear the buildings. Because smoking against a wooden box in this situation would be a bad idea. Because smoking and then pushing up a T80 BV would put it very close to the Leos and would actually give an advantage to the Leos. You want to be using your T80s here at the longest range you can against Leo 1A1A1s. As that way they get the best bonus. T80 BVK pulling back there. A wooden box just building up, basically. He just needs to build up a defensive wall and hold now. Where Meddi needs to build up enough forces to push. One might argue that a wooden box should be more aggressive here and actually take the fight to Meddi to stop him being able to build up a large force. I'm just hearing the voice of Lathans in the back of my head saying, "Be aggressive, be aggressive, be aggressive." As that's what he's always telling me. SU-17 coming in. Looks like it's going for the far side of the map. The mortars have started dropping. Going for the Fallschirmjäger out of Clara. SU-17 taking lots of fire. Goes down to a missile from the Tornado. Milan 2 is being brought in the industrial areas for a wooden box, as I expected might be the case, to ward off any tanks coming in that way. A BM-21 Grad being brought in now by Meddi. Not something you see very often, especially in ranked games, and probably even less likely to be seen usually in these tournament games. I'm really curious what he's going to do with that. You generally see a standard MLRS or the Uragan because they have big blast damage. Whereas this is like small rockets that do a bit of damage, but mostly only going to bother infantry. Whereas the Uragan will bother tanks as well. So very curious about that. 120mm mortars. Now peppering... Trying to pepper the command tank. Interesting choice of target. Obviously it will pull back. It doesn't need to be in the point anyway. It could just retreat to a safe distance. Counter battery artillery fire coming in on the 120mm mortars now. One goes down immediately. That is some heavier artillery there. I'm assuming M109s. It is, yeah, effectively M109s, 155mm howitzers. Towed, I'll grant you, but pretty much an M109 in terms of firepower. There's 152mm in at the other side for Meddi as well. And the second one being called in. Meddi switching heavily into artillery here. With mortars and grads and 152mm. He wants to dislodge a wooden box. At this stage you could certainly argue that a wooden box has allowed this by not being more aggressive. He's given Meddi time to switch into this unusual strategy of utilizing a lot of artillery. I was honestly expecting a lot more T80 BVs. There is another one coming in there. He is choosing to smoke this side. This is a slight surprise. Obviously, he can push up his infantry here. Really, really curious how this works out for Meddi. Because I would expect that smoking and driving those tanks in very close to the Leo 1A1A1s is a bad idea. But you never know. It's also possible he just moves the command tank in. Now you see immediate response from the Leos. See, Awoodenbox wants this fight to be close because it improves the damage capability of his tanks. Ideally, he needs to be a little bit more focused with what he's firing at, but the Jaeger moving up on the T-80 PVK there. Not sure if they can see it. Can now, definitely. It's pulled back in the smoke. Leo 105 coming in here. Good hit on the T-80 PVK. The Leo 105 is being moved out to engage. What about the 1A1A1s that are over here at the back? Jaeger Alf Clara being moved up. Leo 105's finishing the job. No movement from these Leo 1A1A1s. Here goes the Grad. Very curious if it does much. Certainly panicking the Leos a bit. A bit of damage, actually. More than I expected. More than I expected, to be fair. Granted, it is only a Leo 1A1A1, but nonetheless. And Awoodenbox now backing off. Another T-80 BV coming in for Meddi here. Awoodenbox maintains his +2 with half the time of the game gone now. He's got up to a good amount of points here. 12 minutes to the victory. All of Meddi's artillery prepping to fire again. Those mortars still harassing the front lines quite effectively. A little bit of pushing at this side from Meddi as well now. Taking fire from the Milans on that T-80 BV. Metis did try to push up there, but have been met by quite a few infantry. Those are the infantry taking a lot of fire from the BMP-2 AG now. Artillery coming in on that. Potential for a kill on the BMP-2 there. Certainly a lot of damage being done. TDPV getting repaired at the back there in between shots. 152mm artillery being used to take out Milan 2s. Though I think the Milan 2 is moved back by Awoodenbox there. Some Marder Milan's being moved up as well. Another T-80 BV on the way in here. And a second T-80 BV on the way in as well for Meddi. Grad hitting the infantry in those buildings. Lots of damage done there. Look at that. Fliegerforst, Panzergrenadier Marder, and a Milan 2 destroyed. Counter battery going in against those 155mm pieces, but they are being moved about by Awoodenbox. He's not leaving them in one place. Artillery just slowly taking out all of the infantry in these buildings. A lot less here now than there were just a few minutes ago. I do see a motor strike commander being called in at the back there as well for Meddi. Awoodenbox doing a good job at holding the line here. Victory in 10 minutes. Artillery being used to try and damage some of those tanks. 2 T-80 BVs ready to push across at this side again, but no command with them this time. Marder 1A3 Milan's coming in. Still haven't seen any Leo 2A3s from Awoodenbox. Aha! Speak of the devil. Finally, a Leo 2A3 coming in at the bottom there. Heading towards the industrial area. What's a Jaeger coming in at this top zone? Maybe Box thinking about finally doing a push. He has a lot of tanks spread around. He's got 1A5 sat over there. He's got all these 1A, 1A1s here, which have seemingly taken some damage, but I'm not sure what from. There is a Sprut moving over that way towards them at the moment. I missed what hit them. Possibly artillery. Mortars being used as good harassment still. Here come a lot of Panzergrenadier Armadas across the open ground here. No response from Meddi yet, but I would have expected the tanks or the BMPs to be moved up to engage. Perhaps he can't see them properly. I hear shooting down at the bottom here. We do see the Sapari have moved up. The BV is also getting in there and engaging on the infantry. Leo's moving into a slightly better position, and some Jaeger being moved round to get in the buildings. 2A3 is on the way. More Leo 1A, 1A1s on the way. Tornadoes coming in there. Look like they're going for the Mi-24V. Oh! Fox Milan. No! It was the Leo 2A3 that got side shot by the Conquer's M. Oh, that's painful. I thought it was a Fox Milan, one of the group that had gone down, but no. It got itself stuck in between them all. That was some very nice targeting. Poor Leo 2A3. Didn't even get to fire a shot. First one brought in this game. There's a bit of a push going on at the top there. The Jaeger being charged in now. Meddi has made it into this point. He's moving his Motorstrike Commander into the point as well. Motorstrike Medic scored down. An MW1 there, peppering the buildings. Awoodenbox has made it into this point finally. T-80BV's pulling back so they can fire at everything in the forest. Sprut here picking off these Leos as they finally push out. They should get the kill on the Sprut though. Yep, the Sprut is down. AT infantry pushing across the edge of the forest there. May catch one or two of those tanks. But look, the commander is in at the far end of the map. Does immediately get killed though. Nonetheless, it did get in the point. Briefly, he did control that area. Grad firing into these buildings. A little bit far behind the infantry now, unfortunately. But a reasonably effective push. He got into the point. He got his command in the point. He's got a bunch of T-80BVs coming in at the back now as well. But Meddi has lost control at the top here as Box has finally made his push. Obviously, he had massively overwhelming force, though the T-80BV's pulling up one hell of a fight against some much weaker tanks, obviously. Only one T-80BV remains up here, though. The Leo 1A1A1s are all panicked and struggling to get hits on this. The others getting in a bit closer for the kill. Command tank is on the way as well. T-80BV on its own there at the bottom of the map. Down it goes. The game is most certainly over now, as Meddi has lost most of his pushing forces, even with those 3 T-80BVs on the way in at the back there and a T-80BVK. He's not going to have enough to overwhelm, I don't think. All of these Leos up here just able to push through. T-80BV here is far too close and surely is going to get minced by these guys. Yeah, there it goes. Even if it gets a couple of kills, they're going to get the T80 BV. And I don't think Box cares at this stage if he loses some of these tanks. Over at this side, one T80 BV remains alive, but it is routed at the moment. The other three coming in, and the T80 BVK coming rolling in at the back there. But there's the surrender. Commiserations, Meddi, that was well played. I thought you were building up enough forces to get back in there, and Awoodenbox being a bit standoffish surprised me and gave you that time to build up. Very good use of artillery by both players as well. Obviously, by the end there, Awoodenbox was ahead in kills, but it was closer than I expected it was going to be at the start. Yeah, of Clara did pretty well there. The Leo 1A1A1s were doing pretty well. Tornado did a good job as well. Over at the other side, the MiG-29 didn't do bad. The Grad got a few kills, actually. But well played, guys. Good game number 2. It was different to what I expected was going to happen. I will say that once more. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please do like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to check out Awoodenbox over on Twitch. I'll leave his link down below again.